Are you So we have discussed in the customs management the communication between the GTS and the customs system, and how the customs process will work, and the transit process, and difference between the customs and transit. So there are some other processes like the customs code, how to do the customs code, okay, and IPR and OPR process. So we'll just discuss about all the remaining processes. So first is your customs process, customs code within the customs management. So basically the customs code is nothing but it is a list of codes which are independently used by any country to communicate. So what we have seen is how communication will happen from GTS to the customs system. But to communicate, there should be some particular code which is given, or which every authority will be given to the respective countries. So those is nothing but your customs code. With this customs code only, so we can tell whether it's a customs management or transit management. Okay. So when the IDOC is going, or when the IDOC is communicating between the GTS system to the customs system, the IDOC message, the message will be EDIFACT messages. It's nothing but your the type of message which is going to the customs system. In that in that message, we will be having this codes. I'll just show you how the code will be going and where we have to configure. Go to the global trade custom system. Okay, general settings. Customs code list. So define procedure for custom code list. So this is a path. First of all, we have to define for each and every country there is one procedure. Okay, this is customs processing Germany, and this is for Switzerland, and this is for Austria. So each and every country will be having their its own customs process based on the rules and regulations what it is having, right? So this first of all we have to define the customs procedure for customs code list. So after defining this, we have to assign this to your legal regulation. So we have created one legal regulation for customs process. So whatever the customs process or whatever the legal regulation you are using for your Germany, okay, so either it can be AS or anything, you have to just assign this the custom process. So this is only just your customs procedure and the legal regulation. So how this legal regulation will determine? The legal regulation will determine based on the country of departure and the country of destination. So if you are selling it from say for example Germany to India, so in the legal regulation in the general settings you will be mentioning, right, in the normal general settings you will be mentioning the activate of your legal regulation. So here you are defining the legal regulation in the general settings, and that will be activated here. So how do you activate? Here you will be saying from which country to which country. If I want to take it for ACE, okay, so here you will be putting what is the country. So this is your departure country, and to which country you are selling. So this will be your destination country. So based on this, the legal regulation will determine. So how system will identify the departure and destination? So the departure country will be your country, and destination country will be your ship to country. So any sales order is triggered using this sold to using this destination and departure countries. Automatically this legal regulation will trigger. So this legal regulation, we have assigned the customs code list or customs code procedure, right? So here we have assigned the customs core procedure for this legal regulation. So now what we are going to do is, so here in this we are assigning the, for that legal regulation we are assigning the activities. Okay, so what list you want, duty definition or package? This is only just a list type, and we can maintain all the codes. Okay, so this is for you. They have maintained estimated duty amount or countervailing duty, or you can also say a statistical status or deterrent type or duty type, or you can say additional procedures, or you can also say customs control result. So these are the different customs code types which we are using for calculating or for communicating with your customs. So this is another one. So next is, after assigning this value, so the status we are testing. So this status is nothing but at the last time I was showing you there are two kinds of statuses will be there while we are defining the customs process, right? One is processes, one is normal process, and one is simplified process. So normal process is something, if the document is incomplete, so you are not going to send the declarations to the customs. But another one, which is a simplified process, in which even the document, the custom document is incomplete, you will be having some authorizations to submit this to the declarations. So now we are assigning the statuses for legal regulation. Based on the legal regulation, we are assigning. Okay, so we'll take this. Process template is not present. Yeah, we will come with this later, but first of all, we will go with the process template. We'll see what is there. I think we have this stuff we have to design. This is determination procedure, and this for transit, and this is for customs. So now I think we have only these two. So they have only JetTAR, JetPlan, and JetTDP. So we will see if this is possible. And for customs, okay, just we will see this. Okay, so it is from Germany. It is going. So export and import they are checking, and this is for India. Okay, so activate this. So the allowed statuses are for legal regulation. These are the allowed statuses. So that means at the time when we are defining the statuses for the document, it is created, active, and it is archived. So we have only these three. If I take for Atlas, we will see. So Atlas is the standard legal regulation which is used in the Germany. There's nothing, maybe we can just define here. So ACE is something which is used for the US, and Atlas, now in the standard we are using Atlas for Germany. If you take Atlas and assign the time zones, so what is the time zone? It's valid from and valid to date it is.
Santosh, your voice is breaking here.
Voice is breaking, huh? How is it now?
Yeah, yeah. No, actually, it's like it's kind of coming breaking.
Okay, okay. So till where you it is clear? If you want me to repeat, I will repeat.
Means it's not audible, like not clear. It's like it's coming like breaking like.
Okay. Let me rejoin back. So just 1 second, I will join back. Maybe it's
Yeah, yeah.
internet
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
Hello, is it audible now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hear now.
Okay. So anybody of your organizer or something, can you possible can you just make me a presenter?
Krishna.
Maybe I think you are all our organizer. Just click on my name, okay, and right
Okay.
you can see a presenter, make presenter. Okay. I'm into the general settings. So just I'm trying to define the. So I'm defining the valid from and valid to. These deadline types are necessary mandatory if you want to find the time zones show the regulation. Okay, so we are defining this declaration types. So within the customs code, so as I said, the customs code is mainly useful for to communicate with the customs authorities, and it will contain the transportation. What is the mode of a transportation? What is the kind of a shipment you are raising? Whether it's the ocean, road, or how it is using, how you are raising, and what are the different custom statuses that you are using. So all these things will be there as part of your customs code. So whatever we have seen till last class, it's only communication. All the communication will happen from GTS to the customs. But to happen that communication, or in that communication, the customs code will carry respective details such as your transportation mode, your shipment time, your declaration type, what is the process, what kind of a process you are using for customs, whether it's a customs management or transit management. All these things will be carried out using the customs code list. Okay, so this customs code list I will be showing in your real-time system. So I will take the screenshot from my system to show you how the customs code list will be available. Here there is no data, proper data is not there. Okay, I will give you some screenshot from my system. Okay, so now in the material master, okay, so the customs code list will be assigned to a material master. So that is, for example, we have already discussed about the classification, right? The product classification at the time when we are dealing with the complaints management. The same kind of a classification is also available at the time for customs management also, but the classification what we are using for complaints management is only for license determination. So it will determine, or it will tell the system whether a license is required or not for exporting this material to the content for that. I'm just going to the cockpit. Classification master data. So we will go to the product. So what is the product we are using? Just go here. Okay, so this is your logical system group and material. So in the layer control, we are assigning different kinds of codes. So what are these codes? These are nothing but your classification codes. So it will tell whether a license is required for that particular. So this is your ECCN number. We used to call this as a ECCN number. Okay. So customs management, it is complaints management, it is ECCN number or ICCN number. I'll just so when we are dealing with a classification, so material will be classified for complaints management and again for the customs management. So complaints management, what system will be doing at the complaints management, it will just find out the we are assigning the classification for the complaints management to identify the ECCN or ICCN. So ECCN is export control classification number, and it is these two are useful for legal regulations or license determination. So maybe in your real time, if you are attending any interview, so definitely they will ask you what between the classification at customs and the classifications at the complaints management. So the answer would be the classification of the complaints management is to determine your license based on the ECCN or ICCN. So ECCN is export control classification number. It's only useful to identify whether particular material license is required or not. Okay, and custom management, it is useful for HTS and commodity code. I think you will be knowing this commodity code and HTS code if you are familiar with the material master foreign trade data. So in your MM, in your material master at foreign trade import and export, you will be finding this commodity code and HTS code. So commodity code will identify that this material is classified for customs management for declarations.
Okay.
And it is for export declarations. And HTS code is a harmonized tariff system. It is only useful for import declarations. So if you are doing any declarations, so HTS code is useful. And if you are going for export declaration, commodity code is necessary. So in the material master, so in the material master, the classification tab, so you can see here classify products. So do you see here there is no legal right here? It's only commercial customs commercial description. So here in this case you will be once again there will be the code is not, yeah, this is classification. So here you will be assigning the classification for HTS and commodity codes. So here see HTS number, your commodity numbers, all these things will be there specific to your legal regulations whatever you define. So for that material, first of all you have to assign the classification numbers. So I will just assign the classification number. So at the time when you are declaring the material to the customs, this using this tariff number, it's nothing but your commodity number will be assigned or will be given to them. So based on this, they will identify, okay, this is for export, and to this tariff number, you are going to assign the customs code list. So that customs, whatever we define, that customs code list will show what are the relevant items or what are the relevant important fields it has to submit to the customs. So it is specific to country to country. So now I think it is clear for you, right, how we got a conclusion. See, we are discussing on normal and simplified. Okay, we are discussing on the normal process and simplified process. So like for example, if you are saying it's a Germany, okay, so Germany at the time of your customs declarations, if you are going for a normal declaration, so the document should be complete. For example, if the document is complete, then it will allow you to go for a customs declarations. And in the same case, if this document is incomplete, if a document is incomplete, so how system knows that the document is incomplete? Because in the customs code, you are going to maintain all the mandatory fields, like for example, transportation mode, okay, and so transportation mode, your statuses, and declaration type. Okay, for example, your material shipping type. So all these things will be there in the customs code. Based on this, the system will try to identify whether the document is complete or not. It is same for your both normal and simplified. So there is no change. Okay. So this customs code is also assigned for HTS and commodity code, and we are going to assign this in the material master. So now, for example, the document is incomplete and the customs code identified that incompleteness fields, and you are going for a commodity code. You assign the commodity code. So if you assign the commodity code, what system will be doing? It will go over export declaration. So it identifies that it is an export declaration. And if you assign the STS code, it tells that it is an import declaration. So if you draw the total interference from the starting, I'll just put in the pictorial diagram. See, first of all, we have set up the GTS tool, custom system, communication. So how it is going? It is going through a C worker. So that is first part, right?
Yes.
So in this worker, using the C worker, that communication will happen to the custom system. And we have always seen whether it's a inbound and outbound or print messages, how it is going. So now
Okay.
in the R3 document, in the material, in the material, if there is a customs management, it should be either having the HTS code or commodity code, right? So HTS code will tell whether this field, whether this is for import declaration, and a commodity code will be telling whether it's an export declaration, right? In the material master, you will be having this HTS code and commodity code. HTS is for import and commodity code for export declaration. So once you, let's say, once the system has identified that this commodity code is there and export declaration, then it will look for a legal, already legal region might have determined, and it will look for customs codes.
Okay. So real time either one will be there, no? Either HTS code or this import, correct?
No, no,
Like
both,
the
no, both will be there. So
both
same
will.
material, yeah, you can import from some vendor, but
Okay.
how it differs based on your document, the triggering document. So if you are doing for
Okay.
billing document for declaration, then it is export. But if you are
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
for
Okay.
it is import.
GR. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is for customs code, and the customs code will tell whether it has all the mandatory fields or not, like a transportation type, transportation mode, shipment type, your default types, default numbering, not numbering ranges, default dates will be there, and declaration types will be there. So based on the customs code, all the types will be defined, all mandatory fields. Then system will try to find out if any of the field is missing, so then it will be shown as a incompleteness document. So if your consignee is authorized instance, special privileges that he can declare the incompleteness documents also.
Okay.
So then it will hit from GTS to the custom system, showing as a simplified process. So from that simplified process, the customs will be sending the inbound message saying that okay, it's a simplified process and you are authorized consignor. We are giving some the 1 month or 1 day or 2 days time to submit the actual data which is missing in the first sent.
Mm-hmm.
So those data, it will be sent using the supplementary declarations. I think we have seen the supplementary also. So normally when it is going in the first time, if it is a complete, it will be shown as a normal declaration or customs declaration or general declaration. But if there is an incompleteness status and you have a special privileges to submit incompleteness, then it will be shown as a simplified. Within the simplified also, you will be having some days, some time which is given by the customs. So within that time, if you are submitting the declarations again, using the missing fields, so that is supplementary declarations. Is it clear?
Yeah.
See, this customs is mostly a theoretical part only because we cannot see the complete status in the IDS system. So, but if you
Okay.
are
Yeah, yeah.
till this extent to, in any kind of interview, so they will identify that you have some experience or exposure onto the customs management. But telling this
Okay.
to the extent itself, it will take a lot of time because it's each and every country has their own process.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, correct. Okay.
As a
Yeah.
globally it is same. So globally if export is happening, it is export only. But within that export, so they have a GTS system. The GTS system is going for Atlas system in case if it is Germany, and in case if you are going
Mm-hmm.
for actually it is ICS system. So that is the difference.
Yeah, okay, country wise.
You are clear on this, right?
Yes, yes, please carry on.
Okay. So this is for customs code list, and I'll just come to this. So we have seen the communication setup. Okay, and we have seen the process templates. Okay, and communication customs management. Okay, and we have seen the customs code list. So we have a IPR and OPR process. So if I come to this, so this is special customs processes. So within this special custom processes, we have a inward processing relief and outward processing relief, IPR and OPR. So what is this IPR and OPR is? I will tell you, and the customs warehouse, it's a bonded warehouse. So bonded warehouse is it is integrated with your EWM, GTS to the EWM system. It's not from R3 to GTS. It is a GTS to the EWM system. So
Okay.
normally, I will tell you the technical because uh, theoretically only I can tell you because EWM system we don't have and I cannot show. So what will happen in the customs management, which is integrated with your EWM? So for example, if the goods are moving from Germany to, so like for example to India, okay.
Okay.
If the goods are moving from Germany to India, so we have submitted all the export declarations here. So here what we are doing export declaration and we have given printouts to the customs and we also given the what documents he has to submit, the customer in India has to submit to the customs authorities at the time he is importing the goods. So now the goods have reached to the destination of India, so they are lying in the destination. So the customer has ordered for 100 laptops.
Okay.
And the consigner also sent the 100 laptops and the shipment is ready for unloading at India. So but now along with this he will be also giving you the customs duty, how much he has to pay the customs duty. Let's say it will be some $100. So here he has already cleared the bill, but now to import this he has to pay some duty. So that duty is $100. So India customer has to pay this to customs authorities to import the duty or to import the goods by paying the duty. So this $100 he has to pay. But now what he will be saying is, he will be saying, okay, boss, I don't have this much of amount because I am not carrying, I am having only a 50. Okay, I am having only a $50 of the money. So I will take or I will unload only the materials so which are worth of 50 customs duty. So within this, let's say for example, he will be getting only 60 laptops. Okay, so what will happen in the shipment we have 100 and now the 60 laptops are unloaded and what will happen to the 40?
It will be lying there, no?
It will be lying in the warehouse. That warehouse is nothing but your customs warehouse.
Okay.
So this warehouse is responsible to verify or monitor the goods. So these are nothing but your duty unpaid goods.
Okay. Is there any charges we need to pay as a fee for keeping them, like any?
No, no, no. This is the responsibility of the customs authorities to monitor those goods. So unless it is delivered
Okay.
or unless it is unloaded by the customer, so it is responsible for the customs authority.
Okay.
And they have some time limit. So if within the time limit, if the goods are not taken by the customer, so they will just check with the exporter if those goods can be returned back. So if it can be
Okay.
returned, then you are returning from the customs warehouse. So for
Okay.
example, the customs, if the exporter also we don't know any details of the exporter, so this will be scrapped in your GTS using the warehouse, customs warehouse. So then you have to adjust your
Okay.
respective stock in your EWM also.
Okay.
Okay, so this is with respect to your EWM and the GTS interface.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for your customs warehouse. Okay, so here we will be having the
So,
stock. Yeah, tell me.
So there's one doubt, like in real time, which all the companies using GTS, by default EWM also will be there, or WM also will be there?
No, this is
So
only
just
if
in
you
my,
have a WM, it will not have impact. If you have EWM, so all the warehouses, like
yes,
big warehouses will be there, right? Where they are exporting,
yeah,
like
correct.
majorly this will be there in the Singapore and all, Australia, Singapore,
Yeah,
where they have
yeah,
warehouses.
yeah,
So
correct, correct.
there they have to do. If you don't have a EWM, so you can do still you can use the customs warehouse, but it will
Okay,
be manual activities. So there will be the
okay,
stock
okay,
that you have to do manually in both the systems.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so that is for customs. And there are other two processes also, inward processing relief and outward processing relief. So these two, and we can
Okay,
also see this PUCC. So with this, we are done with the special customs process. So customs warehouse is
okay,
mainly if you have integration with your EWM, and inward processing and outward processing relief is, so when any goods are coming inside your country, inward processing relief. So that is with the
uh-huh.
bomb, you are sending the bomb materials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for example, you have a big equipment, a turbine machinery, which is coming from some country to India or some country to
Okay,
Germany. I'm just giving an introduction. I will just tell this tomorrow. Okay,
okay,
so the turbine, and you paid all the customs duties for that turbine at the time when you are importing.
uh-huh.
So what is happening here? You have to pay the customs and you have to take back the material.
Okay,
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 so now what we are doing is the same material, there are some components which are again sold to some other customer or some other country or customer in some other country as a individual spare parts.
mm-hmm.
So we got a big financial product and we paid some custom duty at the time when we are importing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we want to sell this product to a customs or so customer in some other country using the finished products. So individual spare parts we are selling, but already we paid the customs duty at the time when we are importing. So using this
Mm-hmm.
inward processing relief, so we will tell, okay, we already paid the material or we already paid the customs duty to the customs, and now we will show this customs duty documents and we will get rid of or will reduce the payment of customs to the customs authorities again second time. So if whatever the materials which are came inside into the country by using the inward processing relief, so those are not required to again pay the customs duty second time.
Okay, okay, uh-huh.
And this is again the same. So this is for outward processing relief. So that means we have got the material.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we sold the material to the customers or customer, and the customer has taken the material. That time when we are
Okay,
exporting material, we paid the customs. So it is not at the time when he is importing, but the time when we are
okay,
exporting, he paid the customs. So the
okay,
customer
okay,
can show, okay, if he wants to use this material into some finished product and he want to resell it, he can
okay,
show
okay,
this document, the outward processing relief, and he can reduce the customs duty.
okay, okay,
So these are normal real-time scenarios. What it is happening in your domain. So this is happening in inward
uh-huh.
processing relief is happening, and customs warehouse also will happen in the real time.
Okay,
Okay, so this inward processing steps are there. I will just show you the steps in the system, or maybe in the PPT. I will show you the steps between these two. And I have one end user
okay,
account also. I will share that end user. Maybe if you
okay,
want to
thanks.
show it in your profile and all, so that will be good.
Okay, okay, okay.
So how is your practice? Your through till whatever we discussed till last week.
Uh, Not fully, not up to date, but the 3-4 class before we till we reached.
Okay, so any questions or any doubts you have?
Uh, Still it is configuring that part only. We'll, see, if you have doubts also, we can I can mail you know that if you
Yeah, you
once
can do.
again.
I'll just give you my mail ID. You
Yeah,
can just if you have any questions, right? You
yeah,
can
yeah.
just.
Yeah. Yeah,
in a
I see
mail.
that. Yeah.
I will give you my mail ID. So this is my mail ID.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are working on which company right now? Bangalore only, right? You are
Bangalore only.
okay. So which company you are working?
Yeah. Hello, Sundar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are working at HP.
HCL.
HP.
Oh, HP. Okay. So near KTP, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Here, KTP.
Oh, okay, okay. So all your friends, everybody is from KTP only, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay then. Just we will discuss the IPR and OPR tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.